Visa TV presents in 3, 2, 1, Dateline Schools with your host, Terry Harrington.
All this weekend, Dateline Schools have been visiting Marysville High School, the scene of the 6th Annual 21st Century Symposium. And talking with us this week, my special guest is one of the keynote speakers, Kevin Honeycutt. And Kevin, we also see, too, with technology, does that or does that not stimulate or depress creativity? Because I know that's a real important piece for kids.
I think a lot of that is in the eye of the beholder. I think if teachers think it's a creation device, then it will be. If we think of it as a consumption device, then it won't be. And so a lot of this is what we say, is we shape what kids think, but they can create with these things. And if they don't, then they're not going to do that. But see, creation, what is creation? You know, we look at creativity and give it short shrift. We cut art programs and don't realize that creation is innovation. Creation is invention. And we're living in a time when the cycle of innovation is moving so fast. Like, for instance, in the old days, you invented intermittent wipers. And if you didn't get shafted out of your invention, you might make a living for 30 years on that one invention. And those cycles have changed. You invent something, the world copies it. You have 1 year to extract your value, then you better invent something else. And what I'm telling kids is, if you have a good idea, have another one. And another one, and another one. And that's the way they're going to have to think. They're going to have to be inventive. And so, to me, if we're not pushing kids to be creative, then they're just going to be middle managers waiting for permission to do something, and we've outsourced that. So what's left? And so I think what we got to get back in America is this ability that we had to have crazy ideas, to not know we couldn't, and therefore we did. So where does that happen in school? Where does that manifest? What class is that? And I think it should be all classes, that kids create something on their way to learning something. And we have these tools now that make new things possible for very little money. We don't need huge budgets to do big things anymore, you know what I mean? But we need open-minded teachers to see that and make that okay.
And as we wrap up the week, what last-minute advice do you give the teachers and our community as a whole here?
Number one, remember the goal. We're preparing kids for their future, right? We're preparing kids to have a successful future. And that means we got to be brave, and we got to try some new things. We got to be pioneering, and we got to lift each other up as we take these chances as a community like never before. You know what I mean? Instead of talking about a teacher that's trying a crazy thing, lift her up. She's trying something new and she's nervous. Let's be a family and surround these kids with support. And community, support the school. We're trying new things, and it's not going to look like it looked for you. I'm sorry. The problem with school is that we all went to it, and so we all think, well, that's good enough for me. But it might not be good enough for them, so we're going to have to change our thinking. And that's community, that's school, that's everyone.
For Dateline Schools, I'm Terry Harrington. Dateline Schools is a production of St. Clair County RESA.